This is Vanamali. The title of this video is Machiavelli Misunderstood. Um, I believe that what he was trying to say, I think let's first of all, let's talk about who he is. He's Niccolò Machiavelli. I'm looking at Wikipedia now. He wrote the famous book, The Prince, where he advises rulers on how to rule. Wikipedia says born in 3rd May 1469, died 21st June 1527, was a Florentine diplomat, author, philosopher, and historian who lived during the Italian Renaissance. He is best known for his political treatise, The Prince, written around 1513 but not published until 1532, 5 years after his death. He has been often been called the Western, that's my edition, father of modern political philosophy and political science. The reason I added Western is that it seems so many things that originated in the East don't count, especially if your skin is dark. Uh, we just don't count, even though we may have originated it at the beginning. Doesn't matter. Uh, the West is, it seems, takes credit for everything. He worked as secretary to the second chancery of the Republic of Florence from 1498 to 1512 when the Medici were out of power. After his death, Machiavelli's name came to evoke unscrupulous acts of the sort he advised, most famously in his book, The Prince. He concerned himself with the ways a ruler could succeed in politics and believes those who flourished engaged in deception, treachery, and violence. He advised rulers to engage in evil when political necessity requires it, at one point stating that successful founders and reformers of government should be excused for killing other leaders who would oppose them. Machiavelli Prince has been surrounded by controversy since it was published. Some consider it to be a straightforward description of political reality. That's where I fall in. Many view the prince as a manual teaching would-be tyrants how they should seize and maintain power. Um, so to talk about him, he lived in a different time. That's the first thing that maybe people are now living today are not understanding. Back then, times were violent, very violent. Uh, what was it? Hobbes said nasty, brutish, and short, and he was talking almost modern times. But back then, kings ruled. There were no democracies. It was just kings, small kingdoms, bigger kingdoms, emperors, and they preyed on each other. Kings had to make alliances to survive. So, and if you couldn't, if you fell out of favor, boom, wars going on, lots of killings. When a king loses the war, boom. Unlike today, where a politician, if he loses the election, says, "Well, okay, I'll either retire or maybe I'll do something else for a while." Then again, contest the elections again next time. Well, back then, kings didn't have that luxury. If you lost the war, most probably you were dead, and so was your family. They were not going to leave anybody out. Catherine the great Prussian queen, had her own husband killed once she gained power because he was a threat. He had to be killed. We have had instances of Indian history where princes had their own siblings killed, had their father killed to gain power, to gain the throne. Um, Very violent, very nasty word. Um, And this is where the Hindu dharma, it's loosely translates to duty. What is your duty? Your duty changes based on basically your who you are as a person. We famously know about the four castes. Brahmin, your dharma is different. Kshatriya, you're a warrior. Your dharma is different. Um, but for each one of us, let's suppose that you are a householder. You are sleeping, you are at home relaxing with your wife and children, and some thieves break in, and you pick up your gun and you shoot in the air to warn them off, and they see you and they run away. They may get something valuable, not so valuable. They run away. You can shoot them, but you're let's say you're an ordinary citizen. You say, well, it's okay. My family is safe. Nothing much was taken. I'll just again shoot in the air, scare them off, make sure that they don't ever come back. And that's your dharma as a ordinary citizen. But let's suppose now you're a cop, you're a police officer, and you see thieves breaking in, taking something valuable and running away. It may not be valuable. It may be a piece of bread. The thief might be just hungry, starving. Um, so he's running away, and but you don't know that you are a police officer, and you shoot in the air and say, "Stop! Don't run!" And maybe the thief drops the valuable or any or whatever, and still keeps running. Now you have the valuable, you have everything, but as a police officer, you cannot stop. You may shoot a warning shot at his feet and say, "Stop, or I'll shoot you." But the thief does not stop, he keeps running. Whereas an ordinary citizen would stop then because he got his valuables. You, as a police officer, your dharma is different. You have to shoot to stop the thief, not to kill now. You don't shoot to kill. You shoot to stop. Maybe shoot at his leg or something and try to stop him. Now, let's suppose now the scene changes to a battlefield. You are a soldier. You've been exchanging fire, and you are a good shot, and you take out the enemy's firepower. They can't shoot anymore, and they start running away. Do you shoot? Yes. You shoot not only to stop them, you shoot to kill, because that's what warfare is. That's what wars are all about. To win, not to just drive them away, but to make sure that they don't get more firepower and come back. You cannot afford that. You shoot to kill. So as you see that at each stage our dharma changes, and that's the reason why Machiavelli was telling how a king or an emperor or dictator should behave. That seems so cruel, so inhumane for an ordinary person. But in India, we call it Rajaniti. Rajaniti, Raja means king, and Niti means morals or duty. Um, but they are different. Rajaniti is different from ordinary morals. The king has his own morals. He has his own, like a captain of a ship, right? In movies, we see this. What do you call it? We can again read this uh, from the movie. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Iconic line from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, spoken by Spock to justify his fatal self-sacrifice to save the Enterprise crew. Um, But usually in movies, we see the captain does the opposite of what Spock said. He says he implores his people, we must go and save that one few person, put like hundreds of people's lives at risk to save that one person. And because it's a movie, usually things work out. The one person is saved, the evil people are defeated. Yay! But reality may not work that way. Reality might work differently, where a lot of people are killed and they blame the captain. And that is what sometimes the captain has to keep in mind and make the tough decision to leave one person to save the rest of his crew. And that's what a king also has to do, make some tough decisions, make alliances with bad people, evil people, uh, throw out good people. It happens. And sometimes the king's hands are tied. So that is what Machiavelli was talking about. And unfortunately, I believe he has been misunderstood. Thank you.